Welcome back to another episode on Sigmafp. Sigma has a really unique approach to accessories. You can actually find all the specs, the dimensions on Sigma website. And if you know 3D printing, you can actually design your own accessories. And in this episode, we will take a deep look at some of the accessories either from Sigma officially or from third parties. These are essential items that can add functionality to your setup, enhance the ergonomics, and transform your shooting experience. And without further ado, let's look at these essential accessories. Let's get started. I have used Smallrig Cages on many of my cameras. I had it on my Nikon D850, I have it currently on my GH5S. I absolutely love this design. It's a modular cage, a half cage, and that really fits the design language of Sigmafp. There's a cold shoe mount, and in the middle you have a area locating hole that allows you to add a top handle. And this is a quick release type where you can attach and detach quickly from your cage. This adds another layer of functionality, and you can definitely customize this setup the way you need it. At the front, it has connection points that allows you to lock down your adapter and your lens, and this will provide stability. And the overall aesthetic is just amazing. Whenever I look at it, it just reminds me of Sigma SD. At the bottom, it has connection point for the LCD Viewfinder, and it does not block the battery door, which is very important. You can also attach a side grip on the right side to enhance ergonomics when you're holding the camera. And this really makes a huge difference. And I really like the wooden one. It just feels so firm and so stable when you're holding it in your hands. Overall, this is my favorite cage in terms of aesthetic. However, there's one big issue with this cage. It's not stable enough to handle heavy weight on top of the camera, and that's when the full cage comes in. If you're going for a build for video, full cage is the one to get. It has 2 points of connection to your camera body, so this is very rigid. You don't have to worry about anything wiggling on top of the cage. And it also has the grip already built in. And as you can see out here, it also has a spot where you can put your straps in. And in addition to every locating pinhole on the top, you can also get one on the side, on both sides, so you can add extended grips if you want to. And then of course it still has the cold shoe mount for your microphone or for your light if there's anything that you need to attach to it. At the bottom, it also has opening for people who want to use dummy battery. Overall, this is a very well designed cage. You can use it for still photography. You can definitely use it as a foundation for a more complicated cinema build. You have easy access to all the buttons on the top. This cage does not have any obstruction to camera operation. It's also very natural and comfortable to hold it. Almost feels like holding a DSLR. Smallrig is not the only company that makes cage. 8Scene is another popular company. It's definitely a little bit high-end compared to Smallrig, but I've never liked its design. I always thought its design is just a little bit too, obtuse. And then you have the more affordable options like the nice rigs. Yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. They just look horrible to me, but you have that option. Now, the most unique cage is this one by Tilta. This is an Italian company. This was announced back in 2019. I found this cage extremely attractive. It has a little bit of that half cage Smallrig cage, but it wraps around the camera, so it looks very stable. And the biggest thing is that it uses the SSD as a sunblock. I thought that's a really smart design, because if you're out on the, if you're shooting outside, that will save you a lot of trouble. This is not available yet. I emailed them, I haven't heard back from them. I hope one day it'll be available. And here's another breakdown of the cage. I just thought this is probably the coolest design I have ever seen. Handles and grips gives you more control and stability. This is especially important if you shoot handheld all the time. This is a generic top handle. You have to lock it on top of the cage. There's no option for quick release. I usually don't like these just because it's a hassle to dismount it, but it is definitely very functional. It has the cold shoe mount on top. I believe on the sides it also has area locating pinholes for you to mount other accessories. I would still recommend getting the top handle that has area locating pins. This allows you to quickly attach or detach your top handle. There's also a spot where you can store the hex key. You use it to tighten or loosen the area locating pin. On the top, there's an extra area locating pinholes that you can attach more accessories to it. And on the side, I have a cold shoe extender. I use this one strictly for my SSD. The front cold shoe mount has an anti-slip design, so you don't have to worry about things sliding off your top handle. And there's an extra cold shoe mount toward the other end of the top handle. And in the middle, there's also a clamp for a 15mm rod. This gives you more option to customize your rig. And remember, pretty much all the accessories of these types will have some sort of ratchet design for the lever. You can simply pull out and readjust the position so that it doesn't get into the way. And this top handle simply works really well with the FP full cage. It doesn't wiggle, it's very stable and very sturdy. And guess what? If you need to, you can attach to the side so you have some kind of emergency side grip. I do recommend you get a proper side grip like this one. And this is a universal one. You can use it on either left or right side, and it uses the area locating pins, which is pretty convenient because the FP cage has a lot of these holes, and you can also adjust the height. So it's pretty useful tool, especially you're shooting handheld very often. So this will really give you that stability you're looking for, reduce that shakiness when you're taking videos. I say this in the last video and I will say it again. This is the most important accessory that you must get when you get Sigma FP. When you attach this over the LCD screen, you're basically putting a magnifying glass right on top of your LCD. This adds a 2.5 times magnification, and because of the design, it prevents any stray light from interfering your shooting experience. It has a diopter to help you fine-tune the optic. It's also very important to know when you're not using this, make sure you put the cover back on. This protects the optics and also prevents fire hazard. 2.5 times magnification is insane. Ever since I put this thing on, I rarely take it off. It's really a viewing experience you have to see for yourself. Just trust me on this. Because Sigma FP does not have an EVF, when you're out and about shooting, especially under direct sunlight, a field monitor is very important. Portkeys P6 is, in my opinion, the best entry-level monitor that you can get. You can power it through external power source. You can also install lookup tables. And the grip also offers an extra cold shoe on the side. It doesn't have any fancy touchscreen. It uses traditional buttons. And I like this design because I can just access whatever option that I need to with a single touch of a button. And to me, that's very efficient. On my monitor, when I press F1, I can do a quick zoom in and zoom out. When I press F2, I can do focus peaking. When I do F3, it shows me the waveforms. And F4, which it has the most important feature, and that is false color. This is a very important function that will help you nail the exposure. Overall, if you are very serious about video and you're running tight on a budget like me, I would really urge you to take a look at Portkeys P6. It's compact, it's light, it has all the important features that you need, and for $170, it's quite the steal. This channel is called Adapt Anything, so we must talk about adapters. Sigma offers MC21 adapter, which allows you to put Canon EF mount lenses on your Sigma FP. You can autofocus with this adapter, and I plan to make more videos about how other EF lenses work on Sigma FP through this adapter, so stay tuned for that. This adapter also allows electronic communication, meaning that you can record the aperture, the f-stops, the distance, the focal length, and whatever. Basically all the metadata should be able to transfer to your file. And if you're like me, who owns a lot of vintage lenses, sometimes you do double adapters, it can be a really good idea to consider locking it down with these adapter support onto your case. Leica L mount has a very short flange distance, so really other than the modern mirrorless lenses, you can pretty much adapt any vintage lenses that you want on it. Lately, I am really into medium format lenses. Right here, I have a Mamiya 645 adapter. So this is an EF Mamiya to EF, and then I'm putting it on this EF to Leica L. Just watch out whenever you put two adapters, there are room for wiggle. So sometimes they're not always very secure. So watch out for that. And as far as I know, Keepon is the only company right now that makes speed booster for medium format lenses to the Leica L mount. And here I'm putting on Mamiya 645 80mm f1.9, aka the Dark Knight. And we also have a very basic cinema build. Now we just need to add matte box and a follow focus. Follow focus can be super expensive, but Tilta offers a mini follow focus for only $99. The turning wheel has two pins, and you can use these to set up hard stops to control how far you want the follow focus to go. However, you do get what you pay for. These pins, when you're not using them, they're just dangling around. So sometimes when you are turning the wheel, it's likely that they can kind of tag along and get stuck at the top. So sometimes that could make a noise, so you want to watch out for that. I would say overall, the control is super smooth. Other than those pins that bugs me, I would still say it's a very useful tool. All my lenses have focus gearing on it, and it's only $2. Don't overspend on custom focus gearing. This $2 one will work just fine. However, do not buy this from Amazon because they're charging you for $10. Buy it from B&H, which has the right price. Don't overpay on this either. Tilta also offers a mini matte box. You can snap it directly onto the lens, or you can use the clamp on a 15mm rod. Has 2 cold shoe mount on the top. You can probably put like a microphone on top of it. I wouldn't put anything heavy on top of it. The box comes with 4 different adapters that you can put on your lens, and these are the snap-on adapters. In addition to that, it also includes an option for you to put in a square filter like this one, which you rarely see for matte box at this price range. Just watch out that some of these square filters can get really expensive really fast. Overall, Tilta offers pretty affordable options for you to get more control on your cinematic setup. Alright guys, that's it for today. I didn't talk about storage media in this episode because I want to talk about it in the next video, where we'll look at RAW editing and some of the recording options. See you next time.